Scale degree numbers sound like a nerdy music theory concept. And I'll admit it, they are kind of nerdy. They're numbers, and they're the foundation of a lot of jazz theory, in fact. But why should you bother looking at these, learning them, and internalizing them? Well, three main reasons. Once you have these solid, they're going to help you a ton in communicating quickly with other musicians, learning tunes and chord progressions, and also transposing melodies, chord changes, etc., into other keys very quickly and easily. I'm JQ. This is Jazz Practice Process, where I help you level up your jazz skills by giving you systematic ways to make the most out of your practice time. So my aim is to give you ideas and exercises and other materials that will keep you inspired and focused while you are honing your craft. All right, so let's get to it. What are scale degree numbers? So basically, scale degree numbers refer to the notes of a scale, the degrees of a scale. So the root, or the first note of the scale, is number 1. Second is number 2, and so on up to 7. And then after 7, you get back to the root, and that's 1 again. So in jazz, musicians tend to use these numbers for just about every kind of chord or note or key. But a great place to start, that's going to be probably 70 or 80% of all cases, if not more, is the major scale. So scale degree numbers are mainly used in two situations. One is when you're talking about notes within a chord, and the other is when you're talking about chords within a key. Now they're both basically the same idea, but one is just individual notes. So in the key of C major, 1 is C, 5 is G. If I describe a melody using the note names like C, C, G, G, A, G, then I could also use numbers within a major scale to describe it the same way, but instead I would say 1, 1, 5, 5, 6, 6, 5. Now, the beauty of using the numbers is I could be in any key, and I could very quickly say to somebody, here's how this song goes. It's 1, 1, 6, 6, 1, 1, 5, 5, 6, 6, 5 in the key of G or E or whatever. So I can just use these numbers as a shorthand within this scale to tell somebody very quickly what a melody is. Now I can do the same thing when I'm talking about chords, especially when the chords have a certain role within a key, right? So in the key of C, if I build a 7th chord starting on the first scale degree, it's going to be C major 7. If I build chords starting on other notes, they're going to have a specific quality as well, such as minor 7 or dominant 7. There's one that is half diminished as well. Now, I'm not going to go into the details of which one is which, but in every major key, the same scale degree number is always going to have the same quality of chord, no matter what key you're in. So the way people use this is when they're telling somebody a set of chord changes, they might say, this next part is a 2-5-1 in the key of G, or a turnaround in the key of B flat, or I could be more specific with what kind of turnaround. Say it's a 3-6-2-5 turnaround in the key of D, whatever it is. Or I can also just say, go from the 1 chord to the 4 chord, and then the 6 chord, then the 5 chord, all in the key of D flat. These are all very quick ways to explain a set of chord changes that's in one key for, say, a couple measures. It's much faster than saying C major 7, F major 7, A minor 7, G7. Instead, I can just say 1, 4, 6, 5 in the key of C major. So, how do you get to this point where you can just use them like this or understand very quickly when somebody else says something like that and be able to, say, play or improvise over whatever it is, a set of chord changes that somebody describes to you quickly using this shorthand? Well, the first step is just to get really clear with what each scale degree note is in every key. So this is a matter of rote memorization, but like I said before, once you've done that, it becomes a sort of shortcut to learning tunes very quickly, communicating with people, transposing. So the first thing to do is basically to come up with as many simple melodies that stay in one key as you can. Now, a lot of children's songs are perfect for this. Like I started to sing Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star, Mary Had a Little Lamb. Those are kind of very basic first level sorts of things. But once you get into a lot of jazz standards, the melody will be in one key. So some great examples of tunes like this are My Romance. The whole song melodically stays in the same major key, even if the chords don't always stick completely in that key diatonically. On the Sunny Side of the Street is a great one. September in the Rain. There's a bunch. So these are all great songs to use and to practice internalizing the scale degree way of thinking. So basically there are two really good ways to do this. One is to sing the melody, but while you sing each note, you say the number of the scale degree that it is. Like I did before with 1, 1, 5, 5, 6, 6, 5. The beauty of that is you can sing it in any key because it doesn't matter what key you're in. You just have to pick one and then sing it wherever your vocal range is best. The other way to do this is by playing your instrument and visualizing or thinking of the numbers while you're playing it. Now, if you play a non-wind instrument, then you can say or sing the numbers at the same time as you do it. Like if you play guitar or piano, you can still do the singing thing. If you play trumpet or saxophone, you just have to think the numbers while you're playing the melodies. Now, if you know your major scales in every key, then start taking these melodies and playing them in every key while continuing to think of the scale degree numbers while you play, all right? This is a bit challenging at first, but transposing like this is one of the quickest ways to internalize the scale degree numbers very deeply. Now, the other thing that's going to help you a lot is just learning as much jazz theory as you can. And the more you do, you'll be able to start analyzing more chord changes and songs. And that's just going to make this all fall into place for you if you try to put everything you learn into the context of these scale degree numbers while you're learning it. Now, in most jazz theory books or courses, they usually will use these numbers, and they're typically depicted as Roman numerals, just the same as in classical theory, but with jazz chords. So that's the basic deal with scale degree numbers and why they're super important and are going to be super helpful for you to learn as soon as possible. If you would, please leave a comment and let me know if this helped you or not, or if you have any other questions. And I will see you next week. Take care.